Hey, and welcome to this week's Black Mental Health is Black Health. I'm your host, Ms. B, the Black Couch Therapist, and I have an exciting guest, as I always do. You notice we're at a different location? You'll find out about it in just a minute. Let's do our breathing first. You know how we do a few deep breaths just to woosah and get rid of the cares of the day. So join me in this deep breathing. Breathe in, two, three, four. Out, two, three, four. In, two, three, four. Out, two, three, four. It's just that woosah at the end of the day to remind you that any time of day or night when life gets stressful, take a few deep breaths and you'll be surprised how you feel. How was that deep breathing for you?
It was amazing, and I definitely needed it.
Me too. So I at least try to get one in. So I was asked my guest, tell us who are you and tell us something cool about yourself.
Oh, well, I'm Krishna. I am a licensed professional counselor, and something cool about me, I'm just a vibe. I'm just that girl.
And she is. She is. Well, if you notice, we're in a different location. We are outside and we are at, and you hear the beautiful sounds of nature. I hope you can hear them coming through because we can hear them here. And it's so relaxing and calming. We're here at Secret Garden Vibes, a hidden secret garden right here in Arlington, Texas. And tonight we're going to talk about the importance of getting back to nature, importance of silence and meditation, and we'll tell you about a really cool event we're having right here in Arlington. So Krishna, tell us about how did this beautiful space come to be this secret garden vibe?
Well, it was shortly after the pandemic. I realized that I had to find myself. A lot of the older women always say, don't lose yourself when you get married. And I lost myself.
Mm,
And it happened so quickly. I didn't even realize that I wasn't really at home and centered within myself. And so I I was on Pinterest one day and started looking at these fairy gardens. And I went and bought the materials. And then I found a Facebook group it was like Fairy Gardens. And I went on there asking, how do you create a fairy garden? And they said, there's no set rules or manual for doing it. You just use your creativity.
mm.
So from there, that was so helpful for me to find myself because I forgot how creative I was. That little hobby was something that just really sparked something in me to where I wanted to, I just wanted to do it all the time with my kids and with by myself. And then when we moved here, I said, what if we have a space for other women, other people who are just trying to reconnect with self? And so Secret Garden Vibes really is going to be the number
It
one.
is.
It is the number one center for wellness and healing. And I'm just bringing my community here and getting it started.
That is so awesome. It is 5 beautiful acres, and near the end, we'll kind of try to figure out how to let you see some of the beauty that surrounds this area. But when we talk about that, I wanted to just sort of share a little bit just about the importance of nature. What do you think about that? I have some things to drop about nature. What do you have to say? Or how is it? Let me ask you, let's make it personal. How has it benefited you to be able to be in nature?
Yeah. Nature is so important for me because I realized as a young girl, I lived in the woods. Like that was one thing that I would lose time with is just to be in nature because we get to see God's beauty every single day. When we get caught up in the world and we become adults, it's hard to remember just those, fundamental things that God has given us on a daily basis to be able to see the trees, to feel the wind against your skin, hear the birds. Those things are really important. And it brings just that joy and that excitement for life. When you think of
So
the
true.
cycle of life and nature, it's just yeah.
And there's science behind that. What we know intuitively, somebody has to go and study and see, is it real? Well, as they have studied and to see, is this a real thing? Being in nature has a lot of positive benefits. So one of the things is grounding. And people think about when you think about grounding, that's where you literally are walking in the grass, you're walking in the sand. Your feet are touching nature. There is a certain energy and from the ground that it connects with the energy in your body, and you just feel you can feel it. And so when you're even sitting in nature, one of the things that happens when you're sitting in nature and you're disconnected from any type of electronic device, you focus differently. We are so tied to our computers, our tablets, our phones, or any our watches or anything that's electronic. We have to have it. And it takes away from our ability to just stop and focus. So one of the things about just coming into nature, it allows you to just focus.
Yes. I really feel like that. One of the things that I had to do to get back to self was learn how to meditate. And I started in nature. Like again, from a little girl, that was just a natural thing that I did because your parents would say, go outside, go play, you know? And so it was just something that I always did. So to come back to nature and to be able to reflect on your thoughts, it's it's on another level, you know? Like you said, we're so overstimulated by the people that we see on a daily basis, emails, all the electronics, the technology. When you're alone and you are able to hear your own thoughts, you're able to get a sense of clarity, a sense of peace that you would not get with others. And so, yeah.
You know, you talked about meditation. I know a lot of people, when they think about meditation, they think, oh, I just have to sit still and be still for a moment. And I can't because all these thoughts are racing through my mind. And there's so many different types of meditation. We'll talk about them. But for you personally, what does meditation look like?
For me, meditation happens all throughout the day, really. I'm in my car, I shut everything off and I'm thinking, I'm meditating, I'm really reflecting on my thoughts and what's passing through. If I'm washing the dishes, that's a good time for me to, have a moment of reflection of like, what are some things that I wanted to accomplish today? Did I do those things? And how am I rewarding and celebrating myself in those moments? So it happens all throughout the day, but it's so special when I can come out here and really be able to really be intentional with my time because there's a different sense of clarity that comes when you're in nature.
Hmm. And you know, when you think of meditation, there are different forms, and what you describe fits with mindfulness, where you allow yourself to be in the moment. And in today's society, we're so busy. As I said, we're on our device, we're multitasking. And when you are multitasking, you are not in that moment, right? You are doing this on a phone, you are eating, or you're watching TV or reading the newspaper. We can do five things at one time, right? But you're not in that moment. Right. So being in that, well, let me ask you, what does it mean for you to be in that moment?
Mm. When I'm in the moment, I can see all the colors that are present because I'm really paying attention. If I'm eating something, I could taste all the flavors of what I'm eating. It's just really using all your senses to really feel into the experience.
Yes. I like that when the way you described it with the senses, because that really is what mindfulness is. It's like, I'm here and I'm taking everything in. So if you are reading a paper, if you are focused on your phone, if you have to pick up, oh, let me check. I got another email I need to check. Oh, here's some more papers came my way, and you rustle your papers and you do all that, you are not in the moment.
You're not in the
And
moment.
so it's about, I need to just stop and be right here. So being in the moment means, like you say, you take in everything that's around you and you can appreciate it. And your food does taste different.
It does.
You know, have you ever eaten mindlessly? Oh, let me hurry up. You're at work. I gotta eat real quick because I am hungry, but I got a meeting. Well, let me eat before this meeting. And if someone asks you, what did you eat for lunch? I did eat, but I don't know. That's not and we can't always be mindful.
Right.
But when you stop and you savor that food, for instance, just looking at eating, it's like I had the best whatever. This weekend I was in Houston and I went and I had um, shrimp, a shrimp boil. so I can still take it because I was in the moment. I was with friends. We were laughing, we were talking, and we were enjoying that moment. The world was turned off, and I could still taste how good that was. And I can remember the moment. When you're in the moment and practicing mindfully being there, you remember those times better.
Yes. I was just going to say, like, you have a memory. You created something that you can go back to and visualize it as if it's right here, right now,
Yes.
because you were able to be that present.
Right. But when you're in the hustle and bustle, you can't remember. If I said, okay, what did you do yesterday? Sometimes you get that because you did a lot, but you weren't in the moment. So being mindful is one way to meditate. One thing people think is about meditation is difficult. I just have to be still, and all these thoughts come to through my mind, so I can't focus. Has that ever happened to you?
It has. And as my mentor, you really taught me how to, you gave me a 4-hour shutdown. And that was just so life changing because you told me, the first about hour or two, your mind is going to be swirling. And that's natural. Your mind is going to go, you're going to have so many different thoughts. But when you get to that third and fourth, it's just a sense of peace. It's like I've allowed myself to let, all the thoughts or whatever emotions to flow through. And now I can get to a sense of stillness.
Yeah.
And it takes a minute to get there. And so, yeah, just allowing those thoughts to pass and not being so judgmental of what those thoughts are to get to that stillness, it's on another level.
It is. So when you do want to meditate and be still, if you just want to be still, I always say don't fight the thoughts. And I've studied this, and that's one of the things. What happens is when you first try to be still, all the thoughts come through. And you want to fight those thoughts.
Mhm.
Don't fight them. Just take it and store it over here. Okay. Oh yeah, I gotta go shopping when I leave. When I start meditating, I gotta go to the grocery store. Did I put that? Okay, grocery store list, you're going over here. This, you're going over here. So you put those thoughts aside and you don't let them take over. And you just move on. Here was a thought, I'm gonna let that thought go. Here's a thought, I'll let that thought go. And after you keep doing it and just focus, and the deep breathing can help.
Yes.
And you breathe in silence and you breathe out racing thoughts and you tell yourself that. So that's one way to practice just that quietness. So we have mindfulness. You have just quietness. What about yoga? Have you ever done yoga?
I have.
Tell me about
I
your
do.
yoga.
I've done hot yoga before with Sacred Stones. It's Choose Again Studio in Duncanville.
Mm.
Amazing studio with Miss Sandy. That's a shout out for Miss Sandy. She's amazing. It was the first time I tried it, I cried because that moment of she had us on the mats first and had music going, and we were just sitting there, just within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And to be in that moment, I just was like, oh my goodness, because I knew that I was going to do some really inner heavy work that I didn't realize yoga would bring out, Being able to hold a posture that feels a little uncomfortable shows you how tense life can get, So that correlation of life and the density of life and how hard it is sometimes. And being able to show yourself how resilient and persevere through those postures, it's on another level. It really is.
Wow. Now, my younger sister, before she passed away, was a yoga instructor. And so every time she'd come back to Texas or wherever we lived in different places, she'd always do a yoga class. Okay, confession time. Me and yoga are not friends at all. And I know the benefit of yoga, but yoga and we're probably never going to be friends. I said probably never because you never say never. But there are really a lot of good benefits to it. It's just me and the poses and getting on the floor, getting up. I've even tried chair yoga. And yeah, let's just say I'm working on becoming acquainted with yoga. Not sure if I want to be friends, but it is very, very powerful. I can say that. Very powerful. Another thing that can be another form of meditation or another something that can be used is Tai Chi. And that's something I do want to try. I've been looking for a Tai Chi class here. Yeah, try it. Both yoga and Tai Chi pose the similarity is, the poses. There's a lot of difference, but just for those of you who've never heard of it, it brings in the poses, it brings in your body posture and breathing and stillness. It is a form of martial art.
Okay.
It's in that vein, but it also has benefits to allow you to center and calm down differently than traditional martial art.
Yeah.
So, can you think of other forms or other ways we meditate?
I think everyone has their own way and they just haven't really tapped into it, you know? I think even sometimes when you are uh in your moments of journaling, of course that's a form of meditation as well. Just being able to sit with your thoughts and get it out on paper, being able to see it,
And just put it there.
that type of reflection. Yeah.
And another one is just repeating a mantra. And you can have your mantra. And sometimes I do that with my clients, especially if I'm working with self-esteem work and even grief work. Um, Having them say an affirmation or mantra, and they tell me what it is, what's your favorite color, and then I create it for them, this little picture, and text it to them, and say you have it on your phone, so just pull it up every day.
Okay.
And one form that, as I was researching meditation, is just to say a mantra over and over and over. And it's going to take you to that space. Let's say it could be something simple as I am an overcomer for someone who's going through something. And you just close your eyes and say, I am an overcomer. Am an overcomer. I am an overcomer. And you might even, stress different words as you do it. What word speaks to you? I am an overcomer. What word in that mantra do you need to say over and over? And it becomes a part of you because you say it over and over. So you use it to tell yourself something positive.
Yeah. I've also used some guided meditations as
Yeah.
well. YouTube has a plethora of, specific to what you need. You
Yeah.
just type in, it could be inner child, it could be shadow. Whatever you're needing, you type it in and it'll pull it up for you for sure.
That is definitely another awesome possibility. Well, let's tell them about the event that's coming up right here at Secret Garden Vibe. We're having a silent summit. Silent summit, you say. What in the world is that? Well, it is a 6-hour mini retreat that will allow you to get off the grid. So we're going to show you the space in a second. So the first hour is just allowing everybody to get here. It officially starts at 9, but from 8 to 9, people can arrive. We'll have designated little areas, little tents, and you can choose your own tent to just, I'm going to sit right here.
Yeah.
Inside your tent will be a chair, will be a lap desk for you to write. I'll tell you about that writing in a second. Will be your own new cup for ice water because it is June 7th. Might be a little warm. And let's see, you'll have a journal. In this journal, you'll have 10 to 15 writing prompts because sometimes it's hard to think about things. So you'll have different writing prompts for you to think about and journal in. You'll have line paper, you'll have unlined paper, and you'll have adult coloring pages and maybe 1 or 2 kid coloring pages because those can be fun too. So you'll have coloring pages and you will be given pens, pencils, and color pencils to write with in your journal. You'll be able to sit in your own designated area, your own little beautiful tended area. But let's say you want to just get up and walk around. You can do that as well. It's 5 acres here. So you'll have a chance to move and be quiet. Now, that's going to happen for 3 hours. So I'm sorry, the first hour we come in, then just to get everybody settled from 9 to 10, and no one can arrive after 9. That's the shut off time. And from 9 to 10, we'll do some guided meditation. We'll talk about what we're going to do for the day and set you up. And then from 10 to 1, you will go to your own little area and you'll be silent. And we're going to hold your cell phone for you and your watch. Why my watch? Well, you might figure out how to talk on your watch, or you're looking at the clock. It's only been 5 minutes. Oh, I'm never going to make it. So we're going to take that away from you. And when you're watching your watch, you won't be able to be in the moment.
Right.
So we want you to be in the moment. We will have it for those, I can't be with my phone, my kids might need me. We will have an emergency number just for you. We've thought about that. And then the last hour, we come together and get to talk about the experience because it will be a powerful experience. If you're interested, you can go to blpcs.com. go to the events page and you can get more information. That's BLUCASLPCS.com. And you can get some more information. So let us show you. You want to pick the phone up and show them?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Just kind of turn the camera around. And, no, just turn it this way and let them have. Okay. We can probably pick up where we are.
Okay. Oh, it's still going. All right. So here we are. This is Secret Garden Vibes. Just imagine your tent right at one of these trees.
I'm going to be the last one here. You get what spot hasn't been taken. You get it first. You get to walk and see, where do I want to be on this beautiful property?
I'm excited.
Look out over here. All of this is the land you will have.
You'll have wildlife out here as well. See the ducks flying around.
So we'll have an opportunity to come here to Secret Garden Vibes and have a chance to everything we just talked about. Meditate, be quiet, allow yourself to get off the grid. Studies show how beneficial it is that allow your brain to rest. Right now, our brains don't get that opportunity. Are you seeing that with any of your clients?
A lot of my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That you need just the opportunity to say, I need a break. I need a break. So we're offering you that break. So today's show's a little shorter, but I wanted you to see the Secret Garden vibe. I always end with a call to action. And my call to action regarding this show is take time for yourself, be in the moment, chill, relax, do what you need to do. And if you're in the Arlington area or want to be on June 7th, check out blucaslpc.com and go to the events page and you can join us. And I always end by saying vote, 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 be an educated voter because things that are happening can disturb your peace. So you do want to vote.
Yes.
Would you like to have a final word?
Come out to the Silent Summit.
All right, we'll see you now. I'll see you.